I'm Jordan Kurtz. I also contribute to the MMA Plug, sponsored by DenverSportsBetting.com. I have a very special guest here today, one of the OGs in the game. A guy who I look up to a lot, has helped me a lot out here in the game. I want to say a special thank you to Mr. Zak Cummings.
Appreciate it. Absolutely. Definitely OG. I'll take that. I earned it. Hard-earned one.
Definitely hard-earned, man. I feel like you're a guy that a lot of people sleep on.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know, I mean, you have a very impressive record. You've been around for a long time. I mean, you've been on The Ultimate Fighter. You were there as a guest on one of the craziest scenes that always gets replayed. So I mean, let's just kind of peel the layers back for a second. Like what's this journey meant to you?
Man, it's been a long journey. I'll tell you that one. It's funny. I actually was talking to Coach earlier today that next week. That I fight on Saturday, the day of the weigh-ins, is my 7-year anniversary of my UFC debut. So, man, it's crazy to kind of look at it that way, that I've been competing, with the best guys in the world for 7 years, and like you said, I'm still kind of being slept on and stuff. But man, it's just I don't know. This has been a long journey, but it's been fun. The Ultimate Fighter seemed like it was yesterday, but it was a long time ago, and really enjoyed that time. It was kind of it was like the first experience of me being able to live the fighter life. I do nothing else before I work. Went to school full time, worked like three part-time jobs and stuff. So just be able to like chill, wake up, eat, train, hang out a little bit, train some more, like just not have to do anything but train was kind of eye-opening that I could do this life, and I could do that, and I, with some of the coaches and stuff, I was able to compete with some of the best guys in the world, and kind of helped me just know to go all in on that dream. So
definitely, what was that experience like? Going from being so active and busy, working multiple jobs, balancing with training, and then going to the tough house to where you have no phone, no connection to the outside world, and you're literally you're there just focused on.
Yeah, I loved it. It's one of those where I was really lucky, I guess, we had a cast of very, very serious competitors. It was kind of a special thing that season. Obviously I'm going to say this, but even a lot of the producers and a lot of people kind of said that like that was their baby, that was the best season they ever had, of just the way everything kind of worked out. Kelvin being the very last pick, and Uriah Hall had these. He was like the killer of the group. Everybody's worried about just kind of the way everything played out. But not only that, it's just we didn't have a ton of the drama. We didn't have the certain class people that were just wanting to be on camera and get drunk and be stupid and break stuff. Like, we didn't have any of that. We were all there to be serious. We wanted to be in the UFC. We wanted to compete, with the best guys in the world. And like when someone lost and was out of the tournament, they were still right back in the gym, training hard, knowing that if someone gets hurt or whatever, like we could have a chance to come back in. Or just trying to take in that experience completely in that way if we had a chance to get in the UFC after that, whatever. And that was the first seasons, or one of the only seasons, where they signed everybody on the show, which didn't do what I wanted to do in the house, but still just by the experience that everybody kind of put into it, like we all earned a contract and stuff, so that was kind of special.
Oh, definitely. And as you mentioned, that was a very, very special group across the board that you guys had. I mean, even to the coaches, you had two of the most popular guys throughout the history, and especially within this modern era of MMA.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I just want to ask you in this regard, because you mentioned seeing Uriah knock people out in that way. He's been in the news recently because of the Yoel fallout, and he's actually fighting Anderson, which was who Chael compared it to on that season. So it's kind of crazy that it's all coming full circle years later.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that fight could have happened a long time ago, but it didn't. I'm kind of curious how it's going to go. I mean, it was kind of weird because like in the house, like he was on our team, and I sparred him every single day. It didn't bother me at all. Like, there were some people that didn't really like. He went pretty hard, but he was, man. If you stood in front of him, like, he did some pretty phenomenal things and stuff. And on his feet, he was definitely that Anderson-esque type feel. So it's kind of curious how that fight's going to go now, like years later. And that they're actually still both back, still in the game and everything. I know Anderson's on his way out, but him, so is probably Uriah. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of I guess a special experience that like I was a little closer to and stuff back in the day. But yeah, so.
Now, what you've had a long journey since then, obviously, since the Ultimate Fighter. Through these last, basically 7 years, coming up on that 7-year mark, like you mentioned, what I guess would have been some of the biggest, triumphs and some of the pitfalls that you've had to learn from?
Man, I'd say pitfalls first would be just injuries. Before I got in the UFC, it was like, man, I was fighting all the time. I was super consistent, and just, I mean, fighting multiple times in a week, whatever it was, or multiple times in a month. And I think my first year being pro, I had nine or 10 fights and stuff. So I mean, just being active. And then
must be from the Midwest.
Must be from the Midwest. Yeah, we're the only crazy ones enough to do that. But yeah, so that was a big one. And the cut down to 70. I needed full camps. It was hard for me to be able to just turn things over quickly, and I had a couple freak out injuries, shattered orbitals that were pretty bad, and immediately get back, have a good fight, and then like the next day in practice blow my knee out. So like just there were some little things that slowed things down that I had to deal with. Yeah, I mean it was always having some tough matchups too. I mean, kind of fell short on a couple fights that you might. Whoever, I might have thought I won, but, I didn't get the nod and kind of had to deal with that. But I also had a lot of really good special experiences where, little Midwest boy and stuff that my goal was, because coming up, like, I had no idea how to get in the UFC. Like, I didn't know that was a thing, it was like, who do you call somebody? Like, when they're like, oh, you get the call, I'm like, wait, how are they just going to know my number? Like, like, what is this? Like, what's the call? And, so, I mean, I had, went from not even knowing how to get in the UFC to my goal was, like, okay, like, I would like to get in the UFC and win a fight. Like, that was the overall goal. Like, not just get there, but I wanted to prove I can win at that level. Very first fight, went in, first round submission of the night bonus, like, everything you could possibly do in one night. I was like, where do we go from here? Like, life goals are done. Like, okay, I guess we have to reestablish and go back and figure things out, and make some new goals. And the next fight, I was like an 8-1 underdog or something stupid against that Jan Cabral kid, and went out, had dominating performance. Kind of looked at my wife and I was like, I guess I'm kind of good at this. Like, I mean, I never really knew I was good enough till even starting off a couple wins in the UFC. So it just was kind of like building confidence, knowing that I was good enough to compete with these guys, even though I thought I was, like, just going in and winning fights and finishing fights and stuff. And if I could stay healthy and go out there and do my thing, like, I'm a pretty hard person to beat. So it's just kind of been, keeping the body healthy, dealing with all that stuff. It's been some of the stuff that I've been dealing with, over the years. But, I mean, right now I feel pretty good and excited to get back in there.
Definitely. What would you say if you had to point to the highlight so far? What has been the highlight of your career?
I guess I might have to say one because I won the fight, but I got two. I stepped in somewhat short notice against Gunnar Nelson, co-main event in Dublin, Ireland, with Conor McGregor being the main event. Like, that was one of the coolest experiences in my life. Like, that was up there for a long time. Just, they had the promo videos, everything on free television. Like, the whole country knew who I was. I showed up, and it was just the amount of support that I got, even though I was fighting adopted hometown boy. Like, it was a really, really special trip, and I'll never forget it. I mean, obviously that was kind of when I broke the shattered my orbital and came up short on that fight. So it sucks that I lost the fight, but just the experience was insane. Being in the arena, just kind of being in Dublin, whenever Conor was kind of just becoming Conor. Like, it was a pretty special moment. The moment was like when it was my hometown. They came to Kansas City put me on the card. You know, I had a nasty first round submission. Just, you know, that was very special. Like, not only did the first time they come to Missouri, but they came to Kansas City, put me on the card, and it just kind of, everything just kind of fell into place. And I mean, I went out and pitched a shutout, and that was definitely, I don't know if I could top it.
Giving me goosebumps. Just
oh man, it was so cool. It was so cool.
I can only imagine what that feeling would be like.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna. I mean, I'll definitely admit, like, I got a little upset when I was like the second fight of the night. They put me really early, and I was like, man, like, the hometown guy, like, you know, I've earned my dues. Like, what are we doing here? Why am I second fight? And then when I went out and like the place erupted, I could not believe the amount of people that still showed up early, so you know they could catch me and a couple of the other hometown guys, and it was. Like, I went out, they were super loud, and, like, I got that victory, man, the place just erupted. And I was like, what fight are we on? Like, man, it's still daylight out. I mean, like, it's whatever, 3, 4 in the afternoon. And I could not believe the turnout that I had for, with the Missouri crowd and everything. It was special.
So that pivots me to the next question. You've had experience fighting without a crowd,
Mm-hmm.
from the tough and to, I'm sure, earlier points within your career. This is going to be your first time fighting on a COVID card where there's been no crowd.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that experience is like? Because it's not like, like the feeling where you hit the curtain and you hear the crowd, you see the lights and all of that. There's nobody there.
Yeah.
What do you think that's going to be like?
I think anymore it's not going to be any different. I mean, I'm at the point where I've done this so many times that, like, I step in the cage, and yeah, it's kind of cool, like, having the walkout and everything, but, like, once you get in the cage, like, I only focus on one thing, and that's the task at hand. I'm not, like, I always kind of joke around that all these people think they get to the big show. It's like, man, nothing changes. Like, you get into a cage, it's you, one other guy, and a ref. Like, really, you don't see anything past that very often. So, like, it's the same. So, I mean, honestly, at this point, I'm not too worried about it. I'm kind of excited to, just kind of knowing that I have some power and some pop, and whenever I do, like, I've been a big fan of it lately, like, just watching, like, just hearing the thuds and everything, like, just the sounds of the fight, because it's not masked and overran by the crowd, that I'm kind of excited on being able to, like, fight with that and just kind of get that experience for the fans at home. Like, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Definitely. You've got a pretty tight-knit group of guys that you essentially came up with, like with James and those guys in the mix. How does that feel that you guys have all been able to kind of make your rise within the sport together and have been able to not only achieve success but sustain success through what in this sport is considered a long-term duration?
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, I started since damn near day one with Michael Johnson. Like, I started training for a couple weeks, 3 weeks or so, and then we ran into each other. We used to wrestle in St. Louis. So he kind of said he started training. I was like, bro, I've been there for a month, haven't seen you once. So he's like, okay, I'm coming in. So, like, I got him in the gym. He was planning on doing it, but I, like, actually forced him to come in, and we started training together, and it was just, us two against the world for a long time, like, coming up the amateur ranks. Like, I don't know if I would have fought. I took one fight just to say I did it, I guess, kind of be like a bucket list thing. And I don't know if he didn't join and didn't want to compete, if I would have continued to do it. Like, it was, he wanted to fight, so his first fight was my second fight. So he won me on the same card, and then, like, he took another fight, and, like, we just kept doing. We were traveling all over the Midwest, like, just running through stuff. Even when he came up short, like, I kind of was on the card and still winning. He was just kind of like the big explosive slams and everything. It's super exciting, and I just went in and got the job done, and just kind of low key. And he was able to make the Ultimate Fighter first and kind of did that. And he was, so seeing him do that, he made it to the finale and lost the finale, like, was in the signing contract, did all that stuff, like, that opened my eyes that, hey, like, this is a possibility. Like, I was joking around before, like, I mean, we didn't even know how to get in there, so when I saw him able to do it, and I was like, like, Michael's my boy, he's had some tough fights, but, like, I had a much better record at the time, and kind of, I mean, Michael's phenomenal now, and he became a stud, but, like, at the time, coming up, like, I was kind of foreseeing as, like, the better one out of us, or more technical, or whatever you want to call it, but so, like, seeing him be able to make it and do well, I was like, man, like, this is obtainable. I can do this. And again, like, he was in there well before me, and he's still in there today. So like that longevity of it, and just kind of been around. And then I moved out of Springfield. Michael moved down to Florida and started training, so I moved to Kansas City. Me and James kind of got in at the same time, and we're both still here. Like, it's just, yeah, I mean, it's been kind of cool to like be a part of it with these people, but also like continue the run, not just like one of us got in 0-2 and then got fired or whatever it was. Tim Elliott got in, did phenomenal, he got fired for a short stint, but already right back in, and never stopped the grind. So I've definitely just kind of been surrounding myself with positive people, and people that just like refuse to quit, and they just like put the work in. And obviously they're that way, and it's going to rub off on me, or my mindset rubs off on them, or like we just kind of make each other better. And it's been and the same thing, I started coming out here to Denver, and it's same thing, like the Kamosi boys were out here, and just a whole bunch of different people that I don't know, like, and now I'm the OG, and it's a whole new group, but it's been a pretty special journey.
For sure. Oh, definitely. I mean, like I say, I enjoy watching you fight in general, just because you are highly skilled, highly technical, and you're also willing to share that knowledge. So I think that's something that just people might not know about you in that regard. And like I say, I think that it's disrespectful almost, in the sense that, I mean, you were riding a huge streak coming to the last fight against Omar.
Yeah.
And there just wasn't a whole lot. I mean, that was a very high-level matchup between two, in my opinion, two of the top-tier middleweights that just really kind of, slipped under the radar.
Yeah, true. And now he's, already top 10, top 15 or whatever. Just fought, Chris Weidman, had a very competitive match with him. It was, I mean, it's one of those where I feel like that does happen with me, but, I'm not going to put myself out there and, like, I don't know. I was telling someone not too long ago, like, I've had those inner discussions with myself of, like, do I create a character? Do I, create this thing where I start, saying whatever and do everything to try to, like, get more popular and stuff. And, like, I got to stay true to myself. I just can't do it. Like, I don't want to, I was joking around with someone else about this. Like, I don't want to have a conversation, someone asks me something, and then, have to, like, go off and say something as a camera there, and then I go home and my daughter asks me a question, like I want that answer to be the same. If it's my mom asking me something, someone with a camera from media, my daughter, my wife, like, I don't have the energy or the want to, like, have to juggle this stuff, man. It's just, I've seen it. I've been pretty impressed with people that can do it. They're, like, just chilling, all of a sudden camera walks up and, like, completely different character comes out. You're like, holy cow, it was on point, man. But that's just not me, so I go out there and I fight my ass off, and I want to put on a show for the fans, and that's about all I do, what I mean? So, like, sometimes I understand it, and I know I could probably do something about it, but, like, when it comes down to it, like, I just want to be known for being one of those, like, tough, gritty guys, but also very technical. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, I do think that is definitely the reputation. I mean, you have that just man's man sort of vibe. I mean, you have one of the gnarliest beards in the game, just super badass. I'm over here jealous over here. I mean, leather work your own sandals. Just a complete craftsman across the board. Into guns, just anything that is manly.
All
that
is man.
All that is man. That is this guy right here. So, and that also includes the, hey, I'm just coming here and I'm going to whip some ass, and I'm not really going to talk a whole lot of shit. I'm here to chew some gum and kick some ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum sort of guy.
It's about right. That is definitely about right. I don't know. Except when it comes to, like, chip flicks, I'll get down with those a little bit. Like, super soft back there, but, we won't tell anybody.
Hey, I mean, I feel like you get a little bit of a pass. You got a wife and a daughter. So,
yeah, right?
That gives you a little bit of an alley to say, you know what?
Yeah, they wanted to watch it.
You got to have a little bit of touch to that side. Otherwise, I'm just going to go full maniac.
Yeah. That's great.
Zach, we've definitely covered some interesting things over this little bit of time here. Is there anything that, that we might not have said, or something that you would want people that may be following who haven't heard or who might not know of you? What would you want to say to them?
I don't know. Tune in and watch me fight, and you'll be a fan. That's for sure. I know sometimes, like I said, I've been in the sport for a long time. I might be earlier in the card, but a lot of people don't like watch those and stuff. But I feel like if you ever just sit there and watch, like, you'll become a fan. Like, I fight for the fans. I try to put on a show for the fans. I might not be the, shredded out 8-pack, bleach blonde hair dude and stuff, but man, when it comes to stepping in, having fun, and putting on a show for everybody, like, I'm your man. Like, I'm down. I'll do that stuff. I can sit there in the pocket and slug it out. I can get some slick submissions. Been known to do some, like, spinning stuff every once in a while. Don't mind it, but I feel like if I can do everything if I need to, and I'm definitely, I feel like a fighter for the fans.
One last question: if you could offer any bit of advice to, you mentioned that you're one of the old guys around the gym now. If, say, there was a young, 1-0 pro, Zak Cummings, walking in asking you for advice, what do you tell them?
Do not be end goal driven. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the journey. Trust the process and the journey. You'll get there. People want that shortcut, that quick pill, that cheater thing, and it's just not the case. And man, when it's all like, I've kind of had these conversations with a lot of people and myself, because, like, I know I'm towards the end of my career, so, like, you win a fight and it's awesome and great, but then, like, that feeling goes away pretty quick and stuff. So, like, the thing that really lasts and that stays with you is the memories, the time, the process, the whole journey. And so many people forget about that, or, like, just want to skip it and just get back to, like, I want to be a world champion. Like, don't worry about the end goal, that end game, and, like, enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, and take it all in, because it can end at any time, and it will be over eventually and stuff. And if you never reach the end goal, like, and that's all you cared about, then, like, really, what would you do? But when you really just kind of, like, take in the journey and enjoy it and make the memories and just make the best of it, like, you'll be a winner no matter what happens.
It's a beautiful way to wrap it up right there, my man.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that you would like to thank or shout out?
Man, just my homies here, Factory X, Coach Mark Montoya, my home gym, Glory MMA. I got a whole bunch of people that supports me, but I don't need to go through every one of them. But family, teammates, fans, like, everybody that's kind of been in my pocket and my support group and everything. Like, they all know who they are, and they know how much they mean to me. So, like, it's a team, right? It's not an individual thing, even though it's one person going in there, man. It's a whole team of people. So, and I definitely have an awesome team with me.
Well, Zak, thank you so much for taking the time today. I really do appreciate it.
My dude, anytime.
Man, I wish you nothing but the best of luck coming up. You're going to go out, you're going to finish, you're going to whip this dude's ass, and it's on to the next one.
Keep going. Okay, I like it.
I'll do this all day. I'm hype man of the year.
We're good. We're good.
But yeah, so this is Jordan Kurtz with the comments for the Peanut Gallery podcast. You can also check me out featured on the MMA Plug, MileHighSports.com, as well as DenverSportsBetting.com. Thank you so much. See you next time.